Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we've got a very nerve-wracking situation for you.
That's right. We are going to meet the in-laws.
Meeting the in-laws. So who are in-laws? These are the parents of your husband or wife.
Right. So in this case, you have the mother-in-law and your father-in-law.
That's right. So we're meeting these people for the very first time. You can imagine how nervous the man is who's meeting his future wife's parents. Let's learn all about what they talk about in today's dialogue.
Mother, Father, I'd like to introduce you to my fiancé, Bob.
Hello, Bob. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Nice to meet the both of you. I've heard so much.
So, Cindy told you about bringing home her last boyfriend then. Ha! That idiot.
Shh, Thurston, you're going to scare the poor boy. Come in and have a drink. Dinner will be on in just a bit.
What'll you be having? Whiskey, bourbon? Pick your poison.
If you have a lemonade, that'd be great.
Lemonade?
Why, sure, there's some in the fridge.
Mother makes her own lemonade from scratch. It's the best.
So, what are your hobbies, son? If you want, we can do some hunting tomorrow. I've just picked up a new rifle I've been meaning to try out. Should be a real hoot.
I'm not really, I don't really hunt.
You don't hunt? Well, I'll be damned.
Bob is an animal rights activist. He doesn't believe in harming animals.
Dinner's ready. Let's go out to the patio where the pig is roasting.
Roast pig? I'm a vegetarian.
All right, we're back. So a very awkward situation. I think they might have a little bit of problems in the future.
Yeah, there are a lot of cultural differences between the characters, the son-in-law and the new parents.
The father-in-law,
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. Why don't we start off by looking at a couple of different words on language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
So first of all, we have the two characters, Cindy and Bob, who are getting married. So we call Bob Cindy's fiancé.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So my fiancé, and it comes from French, and it means to the person that you're going to get married to.
That's right, the person you've decided to get married to. So we say fiancé. We can say the same word for a man or a woman. So he is my fiancé, she is my fiancé.
Okay, my fiancé. Very good. So Cindy introduces her fiancé Bob to her parents, and they start talking a little bit, and her dad, Thurston, invites him to go do some hunting tomorrow.
That's right. So hunting is a sport in America and lots of places in the world where you shoot animals. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you go in the woods, you wear brown and green colors, and you shoot animals to take them home and skin them and eat them, or to keep them as trophies.
All right, so you go hunting, and, well, the way that you shoot these animals is you need to have a rifle.
A rifle. So you could also call it a hunting rifle, in this case. A rifle is a gun, but it's a very long gun.
Right. Mm-hmm. So it's not a little gun that you just hold in your hand. It's very long. It'll be maybe like half a meter long.
That's right. And so oftentimes people, when they're hunting, they lie on the ground and they wait for the animals to pass and they hide themselves and then they shoot from a long distance.
Right. So he's talking about hunting. He's got a new rifle and he says, yeah, we should definitely go. It should be a real hoot.
Should be a real hoot. This is a very fun spoken English phrase. It's said more by older people than by younger people. Mm-hmm. So this is why the father says it in the dialogue. A hoot should be a real good time, real fun. A hoot.
So how can you use this like, oh, the party last night was a real hoot?
Yep.
You can say that.
You could say, or she's a real hoot. She's really funny.
Okay.
She's really enjoyable.
This is a little bit more like spoken and used by maybe older people, right?
Yeah, my mother would say this. I wouldn't say this. So, oh my goodness, it was a real hoot. Yeah.
All right. So he's talking about hunting, how much fun they would have, and unfortunately, Bob is an animal rights activist.
What does this mean? So an animal rights activist is someone who is very concerned with protecting the rights of animals. So, for example, if I'm an animal rights activist, maybe I will protest people who wear fur. Or perhaps I will also try and secure land for a natural wildlife preserve so that animals can live in the wild. There's not houses or cars. So animal rights activists are people who try to make sure that animals are protected from human beings.
Okay, very good. And this is what Bob is. So obviously Bob is not really into hunting, right?
I'm guessing no. These are two opposites. You have people who like to kill animals and people who want to protect the lives of animals.
Right. Okay, well, and to finish off our language takeaway, dinner is ready, so let's go out to the patio.
Okay, a patio is a space outside the house, usually in the back, that's paved. So there's like cement or bricks or some kind of tile. And that's where you have a table and chairs or some place to sit and rest. This is where you have a grill. So it's an outdoor area, but it's not grass.
Okay, so it's not your backyard, or it could be in your backyard. The patio could be in the backyard.
That's right, but the ground in the patio is not grass. It's some kind of material like cement or brick.
Or wood. Okay, very good. So great words there. Why don't we listen to the dialogue again? And we'll be back in a bit with Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
All right, we're back. So we have 3 great phrases here on Fluency Builder. Why don't we start off with the first one?
So the first one, we have to go back to the very beginning of this dialogue and think about these people who are introducing each other for the very first time. Cindy says, I want to introduce you to my fiance, Bob. Bob says to Cindy's parents, I've heard so much.
I've heard so much. Okay, so this phrase, you can usually use it when you meet somebody for the first time. I've heard so much about you.
That's right. So the longer version is I've heard so much about you. Basically, you're saying, listen, Cindy talks about you a lot. I've heard really nice things. Sometimes people like to joke. You say, I've heard so much about you. They say, I hope only good things.
Yeah, or I hope not too much.
I hope not too much. So this is a very polite way to respond when someone introduces themselves.
Okay. I've heard so much about you. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Exactly.
Okay. So they started talking, and actually Thurston offers him a drink. He says, well, what do you want? Whiskey, bourbon, pick your poison.
All right. This is one of my very favorite phrases in English. The father-in-law wants to give the new son-in-law a drink, and there are many different options. So pick your poison means pick your drink. You might hear this at a bar. What do you want to drink? Well, pick your poison.
Right.
You could have whiskey, rum. So usually we're just talking about alcoholic drinks.
Okay, so you wouldn't really use this for juices or water or something like that.
Nah.
Okay.
This is for alcohol.
Okay, so if you say pick your poison, that's for alcohol, right? Or maybe you can ask somebody what they're drinking. You would say, what's your poison?
Yeah, what's your poison?
Okay.
So poison in this case is a slang term for alcohol.
Very good. And finally, when Cindy was talking about lemonade that her mother makes, she said she makes it from scratch, to make something from scratch.
You could say, my mother makes chocolate chip cookies from scratch. This means to not to buy something in the store, but to make it all yourself from nothing. So making lemonade from scratch means taking lemons, cutting them, taking the juice, adding some sugar. So you're making it from nothing.
Okay.
You're not using some kind of kit or some kind of, canned drink from the store.
Okay, so for example, maybe some Italians in Italy make their spaghetti from scratch with flour, and they knead it and they make everything from scratch.
Wow, so you don't buy a box of spaghetti, but you actually have to cut the spaghetti and pull it. And
Exactly.
Yeah, very, very hard work.
So to make something from scratch, and usually you can add the something goes in between, right? To make lemonade from scratch, make bread from scratch.
Make ice cream from scratch.
Okay, so those are our 3 phrases for today. Let's listen to the dialogue for one last time, and we'll be back to talk about this very, very interesting topic.
Mother, Father, I'd like to introduce you to my fiance, Bob.
Hello, Bob. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Nice to meet the both of you. I've heard so much.
So, Cindy told you about bringing home her last boyfriend then. Ha! That idiot.
Thurston, you're going to scare the poor boy. Come in and have a drink. Dinner will be on in just a bit.
What'll you be having? Whiskey, bourbon? Pick your poison.
If you have a lemonade, that'd be great.
Lemonade?
Why, sure, there's some in the fridge.
Mother makes her own lemonade from scratch. It's the best.
So, what are your hobbies, son? If you want, we can do some hunting tomorrow. I've just picked up a new rifle I've been meaning to try out. Should be a real hoot.
I'm not really, I don't really hunt.
You don't hunt? Well, I'll be damned.
Bob is an animal rights activist. He doesn't believe in harming animals.
Dinner's ready. Let's go out to the patio where the pig is roasting.
Roast pig? I'm a vegetarian.
This is a very scary topic for a lot of people. I think they get very nervous introducing themselves because, in this case, Bob is going to be marrying Cindy. So these are going to be his in-laws forever.
Yeah, and it seems interesting the differences, as you mentioned before, between the father-in-law who's very much into hunting and drinks and likes roast pig, whereas this guy is more of an animal rights activist, doesn't drink.
He's a vegetarian. He doesn't eat meat.
So I think it would be very complicated. And I think this happens a lot also with people from different cultures, right? Maybe you're Asian and you're marrying an American or something like this.
Yeah, that's right. I think it can be very, very difficult. I recently went to a wedding between a Chinese girl and an American guy. And it was amazing to see all these people getting together because the families were so different. But they all got along really well. It was really fun. They were all very supportive. They were just excited for their kids.
Yeah, but I think it can be a little bit difficult, right? I mean, being in a family where the culture is so different or the traditions and the customs are strange to you.
But it's exciting because then as a family, the young people who are getting married, they can pick the traditions they want and make new traditions.
So this is a very interesting topic. We want to know maybe if you are married, how did it go when you met your in-laws? Are you very different or did you get along very well? Or how is it in your country?
Yeah, please do let us know. Our website is englishpod.com. We hope to see you there.
All right, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Scratch. Pick your poison. Pick up. Roast. Activist. Well, I'll be.
Let's try that faster.
Scratch. Well, I'll be. Pick up. Roast. Activist. Pick your poison.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Scratch. 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 Pick up. Pick up. Pick up. Well, I'll be. Well, I'll be. Well, I'll be. Activist. Activist. Activist.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have an elementary level lesson for you.
That's right. We are going to talk about winter, but specifically about the clothes you wear during winter when it's very, very cold outside.
That's right. And I hear you're not too familiar with some of these practices because where you come from, you don't really have winter.
We don't have winter. We have dry season and rainy season, but same temperature.
Well, Chicago definitely has a snowy season, so I'm very familiar with these things. So let's jump right into today's dialogue. We'll be hearing it one time, and in a minute, we'll be back to talk about it.
Bye, Mom.
Wait, Jimmy, it's cold outside. Put a hat on.
Okay, bye.
No, wait, you'll be too cold without mittens.
All right, see ya.
Hold on, with that wind, you're gonna catch a cold. Wear this scarf.
Okay, see you after school.
Oh, and earmuffs. Put these on. Here we go.
Mom,
Yes, honey?
I can't breathe.
All right, we're back. So there were a couple of different items of clothing that we saw in this dialogue. So let's look at them now in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, well, first of all, we have Mom and Jimmy. Jimmy is a boy's name. He's a little boy. And Mom is saying goodbye to him, but first she wants him to put on clothes. So the first thing she asks him to put on is a hat.
A hat. Now, you probably have seen like a baseball cap or many different types of hats. And sometimes in other languages, they have specific names for a hat for winter, right? But in English, it's a hat.
Anything that covers your head is a hat. That's
Okay.
kind of like the category.
So maybe this one is a warm wool hat, but in the end, it's a hat.
It's a hat.
Okay. So he's put on the hat. Now what else is he going to put on?
Well, we need to keep our fingers warm. Okay, so there are two kinds of ways to keep your fingers warm. And the way in this dialogue that the boy keeps his fingers warm is with mittens.
All right. So mittens you put on your hands. Now, what's the difference between mittens and gloves?
Okay, gloves have special places for each finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on each hand.
Right.
And mittens, there's two spaces, one for your thumb and one for all your other fingers.
Okay.
Okay, so that means you can't really hold things.
So you kind of look like a penguin or something like that.
Yeah, you look like exactly, like a penguin. And it's mostly for children. Adults don't wear mittens because adults need to hold things like keys and
Right.
phones and car steering wheels. So in this case, mittens is usually for children.
Okay. So mittens, and well, the mother is still a little bit worried, so she tells him to wear a scarf.
Okay, a scarf is a long, usually made of wool, a long piece of fabric that you put around your neck to keep your neck warm.
Okay, so a scarf.
A scarf.
Okay, and he's put on the mittens, the scarf, the hat, and he's missing some ear muffs.
Okay, this is a little funny because usually if you're wearing a hat, you don't need earmuffs. But earmuffs are like headphones, but they keep your ears warm.
Right.
And we wear these, they don't cover your head, they just cover your ears. And usually they're just two round circles over your ears.
So as you say, exactly, they look like big earphones, and they keep your ears warm. Now, as you say, you usually don't wear this if you're wearing a hat because, well, you would put your ears inside your hat, right?
So it looks pretty silly if he's wearing all of this together.
All right. And so those 4 key items, those 4 key pieces of clothing are for our language takeaway today. Why don't we listen to this dialogue again, and we'll come back soon to talk about Fluency Builder.
Bye, Mom.
Wait, Jimmy, it's cold outside. Put a hat on.
Okay, bye.
No, wait, you'll be too cold without mittens.
All right, see ya.
Hold on, with that wind, you're gonna catch a cold. Wear this scarf.
Okay, see you after school.
Oh, and earmuffs. Put these on. Here we go.
Mom,
Yes, honey?
I can't breathe.
All right, we're back. So now let's take a look at 4 key phrases on Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
Okay, this first phrase, as I said before, has to do with the mom and the boy saying goodbye to each other. So he says, all right, see ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
Okay, so see as in to look, to, right? You
Yeah.
see something. And what about Y-A? Yeah. See ya.
So this is a very spoken language way of saying you. So we could say, see you later. But if you want to make it shorter, you can say see ya,
See ya. Bye.
bye, goodbye.
All right. So see ya. And then what's our next way of saying goodbye?
Hold on.
Oh, wait, that's
We're not there yet. No. Hold on is our next phrase. And this is a way to say wait.
wait, hold on. So you just say hold on, it means wait. It's not really rude, right? It's just a little bit more casual.
Exactly. It's very casual. So you cannot say hold. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
You have to use these two words together. Hold on.
on.
Like I said before with Marco, who wants to go fast, I could say, hold on.
Hold on.
Wait a second.
All right. Okay, so hold on, see ya. And now you gotta be careful because you're going to catch a cold. To catch a cold.
Okay, so a cold is when when you cough, you have a sore throat, it's starting to get cold outside and you don't feel well. Okay, so you have a runny nose. It's a illness. And most people get this every year. It's very common. But you don't get a cold, you catch a cold. Okay?
Okay.
So catch is the same word we use for when we talk about sports, like throwing and catching.
Okay.
It's almost like it just hits you. It's so fast. You just catch a cold.
So that's really important what you just said because you don't use the verb get. You don't get a cold. You catch a cold. Or if you say that you were sick last week because you had a cold, you would say, oh, I caught a cold or I had a cold.
Exactly. So remember, present tense, I catch a cold. Past tense, I caught a cold last week.
Okay. And our last phrase for Fluency Builder is here we go. Here we go.
Okay, so when do we hear this phrase? The mother says to the boy, put these on. Here we go. So she's doing something with him. She's helping him put his earmuffs on. And here we go is a way to say, okay, I've finished. Okay, I'm done. Okay, your earmuffs are on you now.
So you're ready. Here you go.
Here you go.
Right. So we say here we go, like everything is ready. Your earmuffs are on.
Exactly. So maybe I'm on my computer and I have a problem and I'm waiting. And you know when the bar is loading and finally, ding, it's ready. Here we go.
Here we go. It's
now
ready.
I can start. It's ready.
Or sometimes a waitress will come and serve you food and say, here we go. Here's your order.
Exactly. So this is a way to say what you've been waiting for. It's ready now.
Okay. Great. So I think it's time for us to listen to this dialogue one last time before we come back.
Here we go.
Bye, Mom.
Wait, Jimmy, it's cold outside. Put a hat on.
Okay, bye.
No, wait, you'll be too cold without mittens.
All right, see ya.
Hold on, with that wind, you're going to catch a cold. Wear this scarf.
Okay, see you after school.
Oh, and earmuffs. Put these on. Here we go.
Mom,
Yes, honey?
I can't breathe.
All right, we're back. So as you mentioned, in Chicago, it's very, very cold. So I imagine you had all of these winter clothes, right?
That's right. And it's funny because I remember being a small child and my mother doing this to me, putting on snow pants and boots and earmuffs and hats and gloves and scarves. And all of a sudden, it's so hot inside because you're wearing everything. And so you can't even walk. Like you were saying, you look like a penguin walking out the door. And then you get to school and you're sweating, right? And so in school, we had a special room and we had to take everything off because there's snow everywhere.
Right.
And snow can be very dangerous because it melts and it turns into water. Okay, so I have very strong memories of all of this, putting them on, taking them off, and just being warm all the time.
Hey, well, yeah, when it's cold or you live in a place with cold weather, you have to have these items of clothing because otherwise you might catch a cold.
Exactly. So I hope that no one out there catches a cold, but if you want some suggestions, wear a scarf, cover your neck. That's the most important. Your head and your scarf are the most important.
All right. And if you guys have any other questions or comments, you can visit our website, englishpod.com, and we'll see everyone there.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Hand covering, separating thumb from fingers. Mitten. Stop. Wait. Hold on. A long, narrow piece of cloth worn around the neck. Scarf. A warm, tubular covering for the ears. Ear muff. Name you call someone you love. Honey. Head covering. Hat.
Let's try that faster.
Hand covering, separating thumb from fingers. Mitten. Name you call someone you love. Honey. A long, narrow piece of cloth worn around the neck. Scarf. Head covering. Hat. Stop. Wait. Hold on. A warm, tubular covering for the ears. Ear muff.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Mitten. For Christmas, his grandmother gave him a pair of mittens that she made herself. Mitten. I like mittens more than gloves because my fingers can keep each other warm. Mitten. My friend has a pair of mittens with snowflake designs on top. Hold on. Can you hold on a second while I tie my shoelaces? Hold on. Hold on. Are those cookie crumbs I see on your sweater? Hold on. Just hold on a minute. I just need to check my emails. Scarf. His scarf was so long that he could wrap it around his neck 3 times. Scarf. Some people wear scarves in the summer or indoors as a fashion accessory. Scarf. My mom wears silk scarves when she gets dressed up and wool scarves when she needs to go out in the cold. Ear muff. When I was a child, I used to wear earmuffs all the time. But now that I'm a teenager, I don't wear them because they're not cool. Ear muff. I was in a store the other day, and they were selling rainbow earmuffs and leopard print earmuffs and all kinds of other neat designs. Ear muff. My best friend has a pair of earmuffs that he wears all the time. Honey. Hey, honey, I'm home. Honey. Evan, honey, can you deliver this plate of cookies to the neighbors? Honey. Honey, what's wrong? Why are you upset?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine, and it's the holiday season.
That's right. It's almost Christmas. And so we are bringing you one of the most typical Christmas songs, or Christmas carols, I guess, in all over the world, probably.
That's right. And I've heard it in many different languages, even Chinese.
Yeah, even
ding,
Chinese.
Ding dong, ding dong ding. Okay, I'll have to ask. Hun.
Yeah, you have to ask. But yeah, we're talking about Jingle Bells today. So the famous song, Jingle Bells, you'll hear it everywhere, especially during the Christmas season. Only during the Christmas season.
Especially, yeah.
And so let's listen to the song. The song is pretty long. It has like a couple of different verses. But we've taken the main one, the first one, and the chorus, which are like the most famous ones. So let's listen to the song.
This is going to be stuck in my head all day, Marco.
I know. It's kind of catchy, though. How can you not get into the spirit with this song?
Well, as you said, a Christmas carol is a song, and they're meant to be catchy. You know, you get them in your head, and they stay there forever.
I think it's also because every mall or shopping center you go to, they're playing these songs, so they just kind of get stuck in your head.
In the background all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Makes you want to shop more.
Or kill someone.
All right, so there were probably a couple of different words that you didn't understand here. So we're going to go through the whole song little by little, and we'll explain it. So starting out with the first line, it says, dashing through the snow.
Well, okay. This is interesting because in sports, there's an event called a 100-meter dash. Mm-hmm. Okay, so a dash is a very quick run.
Very fast, right?
That's right.
So dashing through the snow is you're kind of running or going through the snow very quickly.
Right, we don't know who is running through the snow, but we know something or someone is going very quickly through the snow. And in the second line, it says, in a one-horse open sleigh.
Okay, so now we know who's dashing through the snow. It's a horse. It's a horse and you're in a sleigh.
Okay, so an open sleigh, it means that there's no roof. So you're sitting under the stars and there's a horse pulling your sleigh through the snow.
Okay, so a sleigh is kind of like a vehicle for the snow, right?
There's no wheels,
There's no wheels.
Because it's hard to drive in snow. Mm-hmm. And so this is an old kind of vehicle that has maybe wood or metal underneath to make it slide.
To make it slide. Very good. All right. And then we have this strange word here. It's O''ER. O'er the fields we go.
O'er the fields we go. Well, this is very, very common in poetry. Okay.
Okay.
So this is a way to make the word over shorter, because over, you can hear it 2 syllables, over. But sometimes we only want one. So we say or.
Okay. O'er the fields we
Means
go.
over.
Okay. Interesting. Laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring. Now, what are bobtails? What are these bells on bobtails?
Okay, well, bobtails are the tails of certain animals, okay? So we could say we have a bunny rabbit with a bobtail. That means the tail sticks up. But it's also maybe reindeer have bobtails because
Right.
their tails stick up. You can see them.
Okay, so I guess in this case, because it's Christmas, these animals like reindeer and rabbits have little bells on them. According to the next line, making spirits bright. Right, so you're making people happy.
That's right. Spirit is your attitude or your soul, and in this case, you're being made happy. You're happy because it's Christmas. You're outside.
Very good. And well, he says, "What fun it is to laugh and sing a sleighing song tonight." Now, sleighing. We know that sleigh is this vehicle to go through the snow, but a sleighing song, I guess, is
the song we sing when we're in a sleigh. So this isn't a real word, but this is something that makes the song kind of makes you think that these people are just singing a special song for being in the sleigh.
All right. And now we go to the chorus. Jingle bells, jingle bells. So this word jingle, it's a verb, right?
Yeah, to jingle, we can do it with your keys too. To
Right.
jingle is to make noise when metal is touching metal. So we have bells and they ting, 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 they hit each other.
I got some keys here. I'll show you what jingling is. So we go like this. This is to
jingle.
jingle your keys, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you can use it with keys, with bells. Can you use it with anything else? Anything that makes it sound like that?
Chimes, jingle.
Okay,
Yeah.
chimes, jingle. All right, very good. So jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride again in a one-horse open sleigh.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. So all the way, maybe we're going someplace.
All the way wherever you're going, right?
Home or to dinner.
And oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. So the chorus is not very hard, and neither is the first verse. But you know, sometimes the song is pretty fast, so sometimes you don't really understand what they're saying. Personally, I did not know the lyrics of Jingle Bells until we started doing this podcast.
Really? Well, because when we sing it, we mumble. You know,
Yeah.
you can't hear all the words. So, jingle bell, jingle bell, you don't know the words, but dashing through the snow.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to just think of it very clearly.
Very good. So that's all the words we have for this podcast. It's a very good Christmas carol. It's very catchy, and I don't know how old it is. I've heard it
No
since
idea.
I was small.
Well, probably old enough to come from a time when there weren't cars because they're in
Yeah.
a sleigh.
And when
But-
they used or, because I don't see people use or anymore. Very
No, I think it's
commonly.
mostly just songs and poems.
Songs
you see
and
it a
poems.
lot in the 19th century.
Right. And but it is interesting also, I guess, the relationship between like the sleighs and snow, and Christmas is always related to this, even though, you know, in some places you don't have snow during Christmas.
That's right, but it does. I mean, we're here in Shanghai, and we can hear people singing this song. So, and there's no snow. So I think it's just it's a way to think about the season of Christmas and the attitude of people when it's Christmas time.
Right. So I hope you enjoyed our lesson. If you have any questions about this Christmas carol, you can let us know on EnglishPod.com. And we'll also post the other verses, the less known verses of Jingle Bells, because it's actually a pretty long song.
Very long, and I don't know any of the other verses, to be honest with you.
Exactly. That's why we chose the first one and the chorus, because it's the most popular one. So we'll see you guys there, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Go or run somewhere very quickly. To dash. Over. Or. A hollow device that can ring when struck. Bell. Cheer someone up. Make one's spirit bright. Make a gentle ringing noise. Jingle.
Let's try that faster.
Go or run somewhere very quickly. To dash. A hollow device that can ring when struck. Bell. Make a gentle ringing noise. Jingle. Cheer someone up. Make one's spirit bright. Over. Or.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
To dash. He dashed to the finish line. To dash. She dashed to the shopping mall to do her last-minute Christmas shopping. To dash. Dashing through the wind and rain, he finally reached the doctor's house. Or. O'er the field and through the woods, to grandmother's house we go. Or. There's a hospital in the village, just o'er that hill. Or. There is a storm brewing o'er the plains. Bell. The church bells ring every day for Mass. Bell. Christmas bells always sound so cheerful. Bell. One of my favorite things at Christmas time is listening to a bell choir playing Carol of the Bells. Make one's spirit bright. The children's spirits brightened when Santa Claus walked into the room. Make one's spirit bright. He made my spirit bright whenever he made a joke. Make one's spirit bright. Their spirits were bright when they learned that their grandparents were coming for Christmas. Jingle. The bells jingled every time a customer walked through the door of the small shop. Jingle. The coins jingled in her pocket. Jingle. The keys on his keychain jingled as he opened the door.